Hey, what's going on? Brian here, 70.3 Triathlon.com, bringing you another live video talking about another wonderful 70.3 race and what you should be doing leading up to the race. We were talking about 70.3 Memphis and that wonderful taper time 2 weeks out from race day, what you should be doing, or a half month, however you want to look at it. What should you be doing leading up to the race? And if you hear a dog wandering around, apologize if you hear any background noise, my stomach rumbling. It's almost lunchtime. It's the time of this recording. So sorry about that, but we'll try to get through here really quick and get you up to speed on what your training should be looking like. I do these videos because a lot of people are asking in the Facebook groups, or they ask me personally with my athletes and everything, hey, what's those last 2 weeks looking like? You know, what should I be doing for taper? Should I be working out hard? Should I not be doing anything? So just take the time off. The answer is it depends on you, but we're going to go through and I'm going to give you an idea of what my plans show and then kind of what my athletes doing. My athletes plural, I've got a couple doing this race. And I've done it in 2021, so I kind of know the program as far as what the course is going to be like out there. So we're going to jump right into it, showing you, like I have in the past, kind of two different plans, laying them out in Training Peaks to show you kind of what we are looking at as far as the load goes. Let's see here if I can do some editing on the spot as far as the size of the screen so you guys can see everything. So stay with me here. I don't need my taskbar in there. So here we go. So this gives you a little bit better idea of what the total is for each one of these different plans. So on the left, we got my advanced plans. On the right, we got my beginner plan. So if you're looking, you're about 10 hours to 9 hours. So there's not, like I said, with my plans, there's not a drastic time difference necessarily, but there's going to be a difference in kind of, you know, you're looking at a 7.5 mile run versus 6.5 mile run, looking at a 35 mile bike ride versus 25 mile bike ride. So you're going to see a difference in those long workouts, just so you guys are ready for the distance out there. And then the intensity. At this point in time, you know, I've got my advanced people. They're still kind of doing the power intervals, the cruise intervals, as I call them. They're a 10x3, which is really, you've gone up to a 10x9. So at this point in time, we've done other climbing workouts and other high intensity type of rides and workouts for power, for speed, and that type of thing. So when you're doing a 10x3, it really shouldn't be that draining at this point in time. You should be able to recover quickly. But you jump over here and no, it's more, we jump more into the straight tempo stuff. Your recovery ride later in the week isn't as long, so there's going to be less intensity for my beginner level. But at this point in time, you're doing your tempo stuff, so less intensity, more tempo. So we're trying to introduce more recovery by having less intense workouts and requiring more recovery from those intense workouts. So we're reducing the impact that you have to recover from, so recovery should happen sooner and better. And as the week goes along, you should be feeling a little bit better and better and better. When you're doing these workouts, you should be getting to the point where, like, well, this workout's done, but I feel like I can keep going. Whatever you do, don't keep going. Make sure that you're keeping yourself in check. Make sure you're storing that energy, putting the hay in the barn, as we like to say, to get ready for race day. Because the worst thing you can do is overtrain yourself the last 2 weeks before the race. You can undertrain yourself, but at the end of the day, that's probably going to be more of a performance issue. Maybe you don't reach a certain time increment you wanted, or whatever your goal is, but you will not hurt your performance as far as being overtrained, creating a situation where you could have maybe an injury on race day or something like that because you're overtrained, you're over fatigued and all that kind of stuff. We're trying to avoid all that. Fatigue down, race ready up, recovery up, and at this time we're trying to keep fitness kind of level. You can see it. We want to keep it kind of level. It's going to go down a little bit because we're not doing those high intensity workouts, but we want to keep it level leading into race day. So at this point in time, there's really nothing you're going to be able to do out there besides put yourself in a hole to try to get that fitness up. So if you're trying to cram last minute for the test, it's not going to work. Don't do it at this point in time. Like I said, you know, you're still, 9 to 10 hours, so you've got a decent load going on. So you shouldn't feel like you're sitting around twiddling your thumbs. All this extra time that you may or may not have, all this extra energy, put that focusing into making sure you got all your stuff, doing your checklist, get all your stuff ready for the race, getting everything lined up, getting it all put together somewhere in your house. So all your stuff is, you're making a pile of stuff. As you remember it, you grab it, put it in the pile, and that type of thing. So get organized with your extra energy, your extra time. So that is going to be important at this point in time. So looking at, I've done videos, kind of what your load should be looking like in the race week. So when you're going into race week, Like the loads should be super, super, intensity is going to be low. Still got some tempo work in there, but the distance is going to fall off the map. So, leading up to race, you're only doing about 4.5 hours worth of working out. So again, the advanced athletes could probably handle a little bit more than beginner athletes, but I put it as generic, kind of a swims, kind of see how they're kind of grouped together or whatever. So it just kind of depends on how I built the program. But I think I changed it for the beginner plans. I haven't modified it for the advanced people. They usually have a practice swim the day before the race on that Friday. So Friday morning, if you want to do your practice swim, I always like to have people go out and do that open water swim just to get a feel for the area, the water, and everything. And it's honestly, I had fun. It was people kind of chilling out, just going out and swimming, having a good way to start the morning off. I've usually done like a morning jog just to kind of get up, get moving, grab my wetsuit, head over and do it. But you have to be checked in Thursday in order to do that Friday morning swim. So make sure you're checked in. Don't just show up and think you're going to do the practice swim. Check out my videos as far as the event schedule and athlete guide and that type of thing. It's gone over that. Check out the athlete guide. That's all that information there. So again, the key to the weeks leading up to the race, the last 2 weeks, is tempo level effort. We're kind of curtailing how long those workouts are, and we're definitely lowering down the intensity of those workouts. We want to keep that fitness level, keep the recovery high, put that fatigue really low, so we're not overstressing the body. We're allowing it to recover. You're getting your sleep, you're getting recovery time, you're eating healthy, you're not overeating, this 2 weeks out before race day, everybody thinks it's like, oh, I'm going to start carb loading. Carb loading doesn't really do anything for you except for maybe the day before the race. That's when you should be eating smart, not just crap food, not a bunch of donuts and just crud all day. But don't take this time as, it's time to either shed weight, don't calorie restrict what you've been doing to this point. Again, you're not going to be doing as much work, but you definitely don't want to go through and now's not the time to be losing race weight. Now's not the time to be cramming in any extra fitness or anything like that. Now's the time, like I said, I'll hammer it in again. Lower intensity, lowering fatigue, increasing recovery, and keeping fitness level. Don't want to try to be increasing fitness at the time. So again, I got swims. The advanced people were running down like 2,500 yards of workout, an hour on the bike, 2 hours max. I put it 35 minutes, 2 hours max on that ride the weekend before. That's probably a little bit high, but for advanced athletes, a lot of the advanced athletes need that kind of stimulus to be able to keep that energy in the legs. But notice the next week, like I said, the longest workout's an hour. So that week before, you're just kind of going off the map. Avoid the temptation that week before to go out and do extra riding, extra running, be like, oh, I have extra energy. I want to do a couple of extra intervals of tempo work and everything. And then you introduce a situation where you need more recovery. The week before is great for that lower energy because you're traveling to the race, you're getting everything set up. You're going to be spending a lot of time walking around, getting checked in, all that other stuff. Ironman Village, doing some shopping at the Ironman tent, maybe going around Memphis to see what's going on. You're going to have things going on that's going to require your energy. You don't want your workouts to be a stressful added situation. So definitely the week before, you're dialing it down way back. But 2 weeks out, this is kind of what it's I call it the race prep situation. You're not truly tapering, still got a decent workload, but you're still keeping the muscles engaged, keeping that fitness level, reducing fatigue, increasing recovery. I think I said it 5 times now, maybe 4, something like that. So hopefully I've hammered that in. So I didn't see any questions live. So if you got any questions later, get them in the comments, YouTube, Facebook. Seen us live, give me a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. You see it later on Facebook. Give me a like on YouTube. Give me a subscribe. Hit the notification button. Get future notifications about this race, other races, triathlon tips in general. I'm always putting stuff out there. So if you got any questions, at this current point in time, hit my website. Go on the first link, off-season program. So let's say this is going to be your last race of the season. Go on off-season program. I've packaged together off-season and setting up you guys for your 2024 season. So if you already know what races you're going to do, I can help you get set up for that. Consultations, form assessments for swim, run, all kinds of good stuff in there. An hour conversation with me if you have these burning questions you want to ask a triathlon coach that's been coaching since 2012. And I've done 13 full Ironman races, actually 12. 13's coming up, Ironman Florida. No jinx or anything like that. So, but anyway, check out the website, see that stuff currently. I try to open that up. I'll close it up at the end of October. And that's usually a yearly thing that I try to, once you get past October, starting an off-season program usually isn't as beneficial. Usually people are doing races in the spring, whether it be a full, half Ironman, whatever, the Olympics, whatever you're doing. So check that out on the website, stptri.com or setthepacetriathlon.com. With that, I'm going to wrap this video up. So hopefully you found it informative and helpful. Good luck on race day, and we'll see you at the finish line.